Hey everybody,
What's going on, everybody? I'm Owen Finch, and I'm here with.
AJ Talent, and this is our last solo Death Note video for a while.
Yeah. Uh, Death Note though won't be like as long as Breaking Bad though. Who knows when we'll do that? Because Death Note, there's more stuff we can do with Death Note than
Yeah,
Breaking.
we'll be doing the movies and some things like that, but
Yeah.
that we'll be taking a little break. Uh,
Um, but
but we will
let's.
this will be sort of follow up on the previous videos we've been doing,
Mhm.
where we did Walter White win or lose, did Hank win or lose. This
Yeah.
one's going to be a bit different because we'll be doing two characters in one video, and that are the Light, aka Kira, and Al, aka Al.
Well, Miyazaki.
Well, yeah, Rio's like, well, his real name is like Al.
Yeah. But like all his AKA every alias name he's ever come up with.
Yeah,
So.
pretty
Um, but yeah, this is a different type of video, like we talked about. Like we're gonna be kind of because Billy, the whole show of Death Note, um, so, from like episode. I mean, I know episode one L wasn't in it, and you could say like that was just more introduced in the Death Note, but really the whole show has been Light versus L.
yeah,
Um,
pretty much. Even when Al is spoilers dead, it's still like even says it. It's still a battle between Al. It just moved to his successors.
yeah. So, um, the whole show is them checkmating each other, or just constantly at battles with each other, even at points where they don't even know it at each other. They don't even know it, and I think it's got to be like one of the best like chess battles. That's not even that's just figurative too. So there you go. Um, so what we're gonna do is we're pretty much gonna say who won, Light or L, and this will be kind of formulated this kind of the
And
same
we'll be
way.
giving our own opinion on like individually and then like compare to each other.
Yeah. So why don't we start? But we'll kind of go like somewhat in order too, because we don't, with the characters like when things
Yeah, like
happen.
we won't be going over every little thing, but we'll be going over like their major wins and losses.
Yeah. So let's talk about Light first, since he's kind of the one that get because without Light there'd be no case pretty much.
Yeah,
So um
L is just, I mean, L Light is just a average 17-year-old high school student. Well, he's like top student in like the country,
yeah.
but he's very smart. But other than that, he's got a good life until he finds the Death Note, and then he becomes corrupted by it and slowly becomes more evil and egotistical.
So I would say like Light doesn't really start off with like before he even picks up the Death Note, he doesn't really start off with like a win or a loss. He's just kind of neutral in life. Um, no, but he's also like bored.
He has a
Um,
strong sense of good, right, and wrong. But yes, he's very bored, so he's like, all right, Death Note, I'll try it.
but I don't think that's like the difference is between like him and like because we just kind of because it's Walter White. Like Walter White's boredom was a loss, but like Light's boredom really wasn't a win or a loss. He was just living his everyday life pretty much.
Yeah,
But
like
um
honestly, like the only reason he even tries to Death Note is because he's bored. Like he's not doing it at first just because he's evil. He's doing it because, all right, I'm just bored, so I'll try it and see if it works.
yeah, so but the big victory for Light though at first, maybe you'll debate it, but I think is him picking up the Death Note, because it gives him purpose in life and
It also leads him to tragedy, so it can be considered either a win or a loss.
yeah. What would you consider it? I would consider it. Me. I would kind of
I
consider it.
consider it a win in the sense that like it gave him purpose and
Yeah.
like he left a big impact on the world.
Yeah.
But it's also a loss because it just it led to him being miserable and evil.
Yeah. Pretty
Like that
much.
scene at the last episode where Light is running for his life and he sees his past self.
Yeah.
It's sad knowing if he didn't pick up the Death Note or he kept walking that way, that he kept walking instead of picking it up. He could have like had a whole bright future ahead of him, but he threw it all away.
And also too, like, it's also kind of a victory too because he is Ryuk's boredom in a way too, which I don't know if that's really much of a victory.
Yeah, I don't think like I killed so many people, but at least Ryuk wasn't bored.
Yeah.
And then Ryuk gives him a heart attack, and he's like, "Oh, okay, never mind. Ryuk killed me. Fuck you, Ryuk."
So, yeah. So I would agree with you. Like, I think it's a victory. Like, for because it eases Light's boredom, but it's a loss in the end because, like, when you see the last scene, he realized like what he could because we could talk about the victory here too. Once Light found out about the Death Note and stuff, he wanted to get rid of the corruption in the world, pretty much get rid of all the criminals and make a better, pure world. And I think that's a victory in a way too, because he pretty much did. Like, I forget what episode it is, but there's an episode that connects to that. Like, you see like there's no many world wars. Not even though people still are getting arrested, not as many people are getting arrested, and he's used as like a threat to like kids at school and stuff like that. But say, I'll write your name down somewhere, and then they get afraid.
Yeah, Kira will find you.
So that
people like are committing less crimes out of fear, and war stopped altogether. So it's can be considered a win on that.
But it's also like it's also like a loss in a way too, because he became the corruption. He became the corruption in the world in a way. God damn it.
All right, yeah, we're back.
Oh, okay. I was just about to hit stop recording, but we're back now. So, hopefully that would just be a little blimp on the way, though. But we'll see. But I was saying, like, he became the corruption in the world because he was the one that became the criminal at the end of the day. Even though like it could be argued like whether or not he was killing for good or bad, but he was still kind of he became the corruption in a way too, because he was even starting.
Everyone was like living in fear of Kira.
Yeah, so I would say that's like considered like both a win and a loss. But then you have some of Light's victories. Like he had a ton of supporters, and he got, even though like no one would know, like he got to kind of be remembered for something in a way.
And he loved feeling powerful. Like he loved feeling like he is a god.
Yeah, and you could see that he did definitely too. And he got the.
That could also be considered a loss, that like he got so crazy.
Yeah. We'll tie into that. But now we've kind of talked about Light a lot. I mean, there's other things too, like he got to like feel powerful and stuff, but there's other like little stuff we could talk about, but it really it's really not important. Important.
Yeah. Well, his biggest victory I feel like we need to talk about is killing L.
Yeah.
Because not only did he kill L, he became L, took over the task force, and basically just ruled the world with an iron fist for 5 years.
And then since we
talked
about
that, lost because he actually really liked having L as an opponent. Like he was bored without him.
Yeah. I guess we'll talk about that too. Like, killing L was definitely like a big victory for him. Because he had been trying to kill L for so long, and never was able to do it. He was anytime he was just about to kill L, either like he would got stopped because like L would, he would be considered Kira, like right away directly, or L would always like checkmate him, and find a way out of it. But then pretty much finally killing L, like like you talked about, gave him power. But it's also a loss too because he was bored without L, and it kind of shows too because like when he's trying to trick the task force and like let him have the case and stuff like at his house. Like if he tried to do that with L, it would have taken him like 3 episodes to convince him to do that. Like
exactly. Yeah. L was not budging with Light at all. He had him handcuffed to him for like 8 episodes.
Yeah. It took him 10 episodes just for him to meet him. Like
exactly. Yeah.
But let's talk about since we kind of talked about that, let's talk about L. And like his victories and losses and stuff. Obviously we see L too. He's like the best detective in the world. He solved possibly probably every famous case. And I think too when we first like see L, it's a victory. Like he tricked Light, and finally got it like pinned to like that Kira was in Japan. Like
and not even just in Japan, that he was in that specific area.
Yeah, because because he
By
sent
having
Lindell.
Light kill Lindell Taylor.
Yeah, because if Light didn't kill Lindell Taylor, then because it was revealed too, like the broadcast wasn't like broadcasted worldwide. It was just in Japan.
Yeah,
So
they were gonna go around the world until Kira did something.
yeah, and Kira did Kira
Kira
did
did something,
something.
alright.
Yeah.
And it confirmed to L that, like, yes, like, Kira can kill someone with just with the name and a face.
And let's just say this, Neo. This is how you do it. You don't just
Yeah, you
freaking
don't
like
use
this.
power of plot armor. You actually, like, think about it and, like,
Yeah.
make a good plan.
Yeah. Like this is because that's what L did.
Here.
Yeah, both of those right there.
Yeah.
And then but let's talk about too, like some of his losses too is like, just like even like before he meets L, like just messing with him, like when he had the prisoners, like just kill them in just ways where like he would make L think about it, like do all Shinigamis like apples, like
Yeah, just toying with L.
yeah, and that kind of
And
like
also, a big loss for L is the killing of the FBI agents.
yeah, because but it also was a big loss for well, actually, no, not yet. It's not a big loss. For, like, why don't you point this one out because you came up with it, like right before we started the video.
The recording of Ray Pember's death already made L suspicious, but when L found out that Ray's fiance, whose name I can never pronounce, when he found out that she hung herself, L was convinced that one of Ray Pember's suspects was the cause, because L had worked with her on a previous case and knew how strong of a person she was and that she wouldn't kill herself.
Especially too, because like without this scene, like because Light was one of the suspects, like Light never would have gotten like monitored by the FBI and stuff like that too.
But a big.
Hello. Oh my gosh, I hate Skype sometimes. Why does it have to be this video it happens for?
Loss for L is that.
All right, you're good now.
Oh, okay, cool. I was asking for. Frozen for you didn't answer some of. Okay, cool. I was even saying it's always the death of videos.
I know, yeah. It's let's try it again. All right, go. You was I forget what you were saying.
Oh yeah. The U.S. government stopped helping L due to the FBI agent deaths.
Yep.
And also can be a win and a loss. The Japanese police stopped pursuing Kira, which is a loss. But because they did, the people that helped L were the team that like took down L. I mean Kira.
Yeah.
Like the people that became the task force were like the people for the job.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think too, like what's also like a victory for L is his first meeting of Light. And we're gonna do that video like this, like probably top 10 scenes of like Death Note once. But I know like I really like L's death and like other things that happen in the show.
Hold on, Liam.
Hey, can you stop recording? Okay. Hey guys, sorry about that. My dad was ordering graduation pictures, so yeah, because I graduated high school. Woohoo!
Yeah. All right, Bill. But I was talking about though, like a big victory for L, which is my favorite Death Note scene. Now, a lot of people will say, L's death scene's probably better, Light's is, this and that, but this is my favorite Death Note scene because without this scene, the whole show would be different. Like, it changes everything that happens the whole show.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a big victory for L. You could say in a long run, it's probably a loss, but I don't really see it that way. I see it as like a victory for L. And that's him meeting Light at like his college, like
it's like ceremony or whatever.
Yeah. And him revealing to himself that he's L because like it embarrassed Light so much, and he was so mad about it. And
because he couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, and I think that's why like it's a victory for L. Like you could say in the long run it's probably a loss because it led to his demise, but I feel like it's to me it's a victory. Like even with
in the moment he got to make Light so mad, and he put so much pressure on him.
Yeah, and he couldn't do anything about. And I think too like L knew about this too. Like no matter what, like if he introduced himself to Kira, like Kira wasn't going to be able to do anything about it. So, I thought it was a big victory for L. Because it also too like led because without this scene too like L wouldn't have been able to really pin down the case just to Light. So, you know, I think it's definitely a victory for L. What would you consider it? A victory or a loss for L?
I consider it a victory.
And then like
things like the tennis match and things are more ties. Like no one really got an edge on the other.
Yeah, even though Light won the tennis match, which is it's kind of funny too if thinking about it back now. Like Light won the tennis match. Like what if like that could be a what if? What if L won the tennis match? Like
does that mean that like Light dies at episode 25 or whenever?
Yeah, and imagine L became Kira. Like
that'd be pretty cool.
But anyhow, that's other things. But but then another victory for what we thought was going to be a victory for Light is in a way it's a victory is the introduction of the second Kira because if there wasn't because it allowed Light to actually be able to work with the task force, like that's the whole like it was probably going to happen anyways, but I feel like too like without the second Kira, Light wouldn't have been able to kind of work with the task force because it gave them kind of something to look for and stuff, and it gave them a reason to bring Light in, and it helped Light too in a way too because he was able to get closer to the case. So I think that's a victory for Light, and also too it helps too because the second Kira and him work together throughout the rest of the series and stuff. Anyways, so would you consider that like a victory for Light or a loss? The introduction of the second Kira.
I think it's a victory overall, just because Misa was a big trump card for him, like throughout the rest of the show.
Yeah, I mean it could be, and then you have other things that happen, and also too without Misa, Light's plan wouldn't have come into action. Let's talk about the victory too. Because even though it's kind of considered a loss in the long run, the victory too is like when L saves his own life by like taking Lisa's phone away from Light. When he's like about to make the phone call and cause L to die and stuff like that. Like that's kind of a victory in a way because we would have thought like right away like Misa just looking at L without L knowing about the Shinigami and stuff. Because he didn't know about like the Shinigami ideal. So that's kind of a victory. But let's talk about Light's biggest victory of the show.
Yeah, pretty much these next couple episodes are L holding an L. Like Light played him like a fiddle. Yeah,
which is kind of sad. Like we shouldn't say like he played him like a fiddle, but it wasn't like completely.
Yeah, but like L definitely put up a good fight, but he couldn't really do anything. Like he couldn't predict that Light would get amnesia and predict all this shit,
Yeah.
Well, he didn't predict everything, but like he knew like the basics of what would happen.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about that. So Light's plan. And this is so awesome to talk about now too. Like after I've seen it now and stuff. Because if everyone you remember like when we watched these two episodes together, and I would like to know what was going on.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, because they don't explain anything to you. Like, well, they give you crumbs and then they give you like the reveal.
Yeah, and they give you crumbs and then they give you the whole cookie afterwards. Like
yeah, pretty much.
So
the cookie was the size of an island.
Yeah. So why don't you? I've been talking. Why don't you talk about like Light's plan and how it led to his victory?
Light's plan. He had L put him in a jail cell for pretty much 2 months, and L wanted to do this, but like he was suspicious because Light was going along with it, and Light was the one coming up with the idea.
Yeah.
And like he couldn't do anything to say no about it. Like he knew Light was kind of like doing something, but he couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
But eventually he had to prove, he basically had to Light let go eventually. And even though he's still suspicious of him, he couldn't do anything about it because the other task force members. But he really put up a good fight. He had Light handcuffed to him. He did everything he could to limit Light.
Yeah.
But Light himself didn't know he was Kira because of the amnesia plan, where he gave up his death note and had someone else take it.
Now we should explain, like, which I kind of like this about Death Note. Like, you don't completely get amnesia from this. Like, you don't because it would have been stupid. Like, if Light didn't remember, like, 8 months, like pretty much like 8 months of his life, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Like he thought he was still in high school.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, it's just like you don't remember anything related to the Death Note.
Yeah, which is kind of weird though in a way, like. Because Light remembered being asked to get locked up, but he didn't remember why he got asked to get locked up, so that's kind of weird. But, it's but still, but I feel like too, like a victory for L. And actually too, like we talk about this a lot too, like that scene right there too, like, episodes like I believe it's like 16 through like 24, beginning of 24 really is like Light versus Kira pretty much because he had to like plan everything out
Light was,
around
like, chasing himself, which is pretty great.
Yeah. And L put up a good fight though, and we talked about this on the phone a couple of days ago. This could be seen as a victory or a loss. Like L finally coming up with a plan to get the Death Note. That's a victory because that plan allowed him to get victory to the Death Note, see the Shinigami, but it also was a loss because it led right into Light's plan too.
Yeah, like L got to figure out what the Death Note was and how it worked, but it's only because Light planned it out that way.
Yeah.
And Light got ownership of the Death Note again and killed Iguchi to get ownership again.
Yeah, and we'll make like what if videos like. And like I said, we're not gonna go through this like in depthly because we did the reviews. There's no point. So
yeah, we're just like briefly skimming over their main victories.
And yeah, Light killing Iguchi was a real big victory for him. I mean, we talked about like him killing L too, which is his big victory. But he also like got rid of Rem and Milan one too because Rem would have killed him because like Light's plan like benefited him a lot. He got rid of he said it. He got rid of everything in his way. He got rid of Rem, he got rid of L, and he got to take over the task force. So,
exactly.
And we got to talk about this scene, like when L finally dies.
Yeah, that's a big victory for Light. He got rid of Rem and L and everyone.
Yeah, but it's it's also you could make the argument like a big victory and a big loss for L. Because he finally found the person, and this ties into Breaking Bad again. We literally just said this sentence, like half hour ago. Like,
yeah, about.
Why don't you say it? Because I just said it. I don't want to repeat myself.
Oh, that the person that was the person they were looking for was the person they would like least expect.
Yeah, and it's a victory for L because he finally got like vindication that like Light was Kira, like. Because he pretty much, like we talked about before, had it pinned down to Light. He just couldn't prove it. And he
would have been able to prove it after the 13-day rule to figure out if that was true or not.
Yeah, if he didn't die. But then he finally, it's a victory because he finally figured it out. But it's also a loss for two reasons. One, he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, he's like dying, and he realizes that Light killed him.
Yeah. And it's also a loss because now we can talk about this scene more in depthly because this is where I think L was being genuine because L says, I forget which episode, that he considered Light like his only friend pretty much. And he would be like heartbroken if he was Kira. And I feel like that's also a loss. Like L's only friend ended up being the person he was going after.
And he smiled as he died.
Yeah. So that's also like a heartbreaking like loss.
And like L knew he was gonna die.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Like even like before like this scene happened, like L in this whole episode like knew he was gonna die.
Yeah, like he was acting weird and saying like he heard church bells.
Yeah. And like he did everything he could to make sure like he could catch Kira like right before he died, but
and ultimately he laid the groundwork, but he couldn't follow through.
and I think that's a victory for L2. Like even though
big victory for him is he left it to his successors.
Yeah, and I feel like too that's what the recordings were we saw like in episode 26, like all the videotapes that his successors probably were seeing and such too. And I think it's like a big victory too because it really only, like you said, L solved this case like without any knowledge of the Death Note up until like 24 and 25, but still he solved this case.
It's a little too late.
Yeah. But still, like, he got, like, probably, like, because he had 90% of this case solved with it. I would say, like, he had, like, about, maybe, like, 80% of this case solved, like, without knowledge of the Death Note, pretty much. That's a pretty big victory right there. Like,
into one person, he just couldn't prove it.
Yeah. But then we have, like, but, like I said, L's death leads to Light's losses, because we talked about like Light was bored pretty much. Did they talk about too like he didn't touch like his original Death Note for like 6 years or whatever? Like it was a long time.
Because it was in police custody.
Yeah. But we talk about too like the 6-year time jump ended up becoming a loss for Light because
he got super rusty without an opponent.
Yeah, because pretty much once he started getting opponents again, he kind of sucked pretty much. Like everything honestly, tried.
Light doesn't even really have any big victories after the time skip.
No, like
his dad dies. You could argue if that's even a victory or not. Like
yeah,
I mean if that's a loss or not, because you could argue Light didn't even care.
Yeah, well, like I feel like you put it the best. Light KO'd, Kira didn't. So, but I feel like he got very rusty, and this is where you can make the argument too. Like Light, we talked about this, like started to rely on people too much to do things exactly the way he wanted them to do it. Like for example, like and this is kind of a little bit in the time skip. Like it's not his fault that Misa's dumb, but he should have like expect Misa not to do things exactly the way he wants her to do it.
Right, and he should have known his dad well enough to know his dad wouldn't just kill Mello right away.
Yeah. Well, like,
Mello getting away was a big loss for him.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And, like, dude, like, I mean, this isn't, like, Light's fault either, but, like, Mikami, he couldn't plan, like, he was going to go to the bank twice in the same day. Like,
although a big victory for him was having, Takeda, I think her name is, kill Mello.
Yeah.
Although it also ended up being a loss for him because that like confirmed Nier's suspicions about Light being Kira.
Yeah. And it also, and I think a big victory for him, like for a few episodes, was Mikami, like him just passing the Death Note over to Mikami because it allowed him to get away for like a few, like I said, and also, you know what else was a big loss? Neo reading the script of the show, because
he should not have known that Mikami was ex Kira.
Yeah, like I said, Neo, both of these right here, like, yeah, you get both of those up there, like, come on, like, but that should be a what if video. What if Neo didn't read the script? Like,
pretty much. What if he didn't have an ass load of plot armor?
Like that one scene right there took an A+ show to like an A, like
yeah. The whole after the time skip it isn't as good.
Yeah, I mean it's still I don't think it's as
good,
bad,
but like it's not as good before.
I don't think it's as bad as what people say it is though. Like a
lot of people say like it sucks after the time skip. I wouldn't go that far. It's still good.
No. Yeah. But then you have, oh no, you're not frozen. Oh no, you are. Oh, I wasn't on my. Yeah. All right, but then you have and I feel like too, like L's victory. This is still revolving around L because his successors are taking over his case. So, basically L is still solving this case even though he's not alive. So
Light even put it this way that like even though L is dead, it's still a battle with him. It just moved to his successors.
Yeah.
Oh, a thing I forgot is how Watari died. And that's kind of a big loss for L. That like his adopted father passed away.
Yeah, he died like right before he did too. So like like L had to die like right after, like, knowing the knowledge that like his big father figure like died with him, like right before him. Like, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
And I think too like a big loss for Light was once Neo and Mel found out that like the rules that he wrote in the Death Note were bullshit, because that was like the thing that was keeping them from like being able to act on the because that kept L from solving the case pretty much. So but then we have the biggest loss at the end of the show. And why don't you talk about Light's biggest loss at the end of the show?
Light loses to Nier, unfortunately. Although I feel like Light needed to die. Like he did too much evil shit. But regardless, he got outplayed. He turned all of his allies against him. He killed Takada and he made Misa forget everything about being Kira.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets riddled with holes by Matsuda.
Yeah.
And he escapes the warehouse, but he would have died anyway.
Yeah.
Then Ryuk.
He was bleeding.
Yeah, Ryuk writes his name in the Death Note, and he has a heart attack.
And it's a big loss for a number of reasons. First, because Light realizes like he could have done something better, like with his life, like become if he really wanted to like get rid of like the criminals, he could have just become a cop or something like that.
Followed his dad's footstep. Instead, he became a monster.
And it's also a loss too, because the one person
he tore his family apart. Like his dad's dead, his sister's like traumatized.
His mom has to be traumatized too. This doesn't show it, like, because her husband's dead. Now his son's gonna be. Can you imagine what she's gonna say, like, when her son, like, she found like all along the kid, like
her precious son was this evil murderer.
Yeah. Unless she's happy about it, then it's a victory for Light, I guess. So
the task force, I'm sure, is very shaken. Like Matsuda was very upset that Light was killed because he looked up to his dad, but he also he liked Light. Like he thought Light was his friend.
Yeah, and I think too, like, it's a big loss because like task force dedicated to what's the whole life to this case.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Although I think towards the end it was a bit better because three of the task force members already suspected Light was Kira.
Yeah.
Matsuda was really the only one who didn't even think that Light was Kira.
Yeah.
But that's why it was so devastating for him.
And then you have another big loss is we talk about this. The one thing that finally killed Light was the Death Notes, which is ironically a loss because that's what Light used throughout his whole
he killed so many people with heart attacks, and in the end Ryuk even told him straight to his face, "I'll be the one to write your name in the Death Note."
Yeah, and
the one person Ryuk was never against Light. He was always by his side. He was never working for Light, but he was he never had to worry about Ryuk.
Yeah.
So the one person he never had to worry about is the one who killed him.
Yeah,
two people actually, because he never would have thought Matsuda would have flipped on him like that and shot him.
Yeah, especially too because he knows who Matsuda is and stuff too. So.
Oh yeah, Matsuda got so angry.
Yeah, no one's making fun of Matsuda after this show anymore.
Jesus,
he's probably gonna be.
He went ballistic. He was gonna shoot him in the face.
Yeah, he almost did.
He needed 3 guys to hold him back.
Yeah. But this is also L's victory because the case finally got solved and Kira finally got put into justice. And who does Light see right before he dies? L. Which I think is also
a miserable face on Light. You can tell he's not happy.
Yeah. So that's another victory right there for L. But it's also a loss because we talked about this. Yeah, he didn't get to live and I feel too to L it's not going to be a victory because he didn't get to like be the one to be remembered to solve the case because we talk about this like a lot of cases get solved, but the thing that people remember is who solved the case. And I'm gonna say L solved the case, but no one else. Like the pretty much gonna say Neo's the one that solved this case.
Exactly. Even though like L was the one who did most of the work.
Yeah. By the way, the people that say that like. I like out of here. Like, don't even like. You should write your own names in the death note. Like, L solved the case. You guys are just jealous. Jealous. Like,
we're big L fanboys, in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But something that makes me upset as an L fanboy, a big loss for him. We forgot to talk about this. Was the director's cut scene with L's funeral.
Yeah.
And this was a big win for Light. He just like laughing at L's grave and like taunting him.
Yeah, pretty much.
And like he killed all the businessmen that were, being Kira and like the 2 criminals that L hired.
Yep. So yeah, but so, overall, those
after
are like
L died, Light just tore down everything he worked for.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is kind of sucks for which kind of sucks for L. But yeah, that's pretty much like all the big victories and losses we've come up with. And now we're gonna do the final verdict. I'll go first this time since you've been going first. If I had to say, it's really tough to say like who won or lost because really like overall they both lost. This is a case where their losses overweigh their wins.
Yeah, which is very different from the conclusion we got in our Breaking Bad videos. Go check those out.
However, though, we got to go based off the title of this video because the title isn't who won, did they win or lose. The question is who won. And the answer I've come up with, and we both come up with, is Light won the battle, L won the war. Yes, Light killed L and got rid of him. And got rid of like his biggest threat. But L overall won the war because he still got to like even though he was dead, like be the one to take down Light through his successors.
Down Kira and prove that Light is Kira.
Yeah. So that's my thoughts. What about you? Who would you say won and lost?
I agree. If we're talking like individually, Light lost and L lost due to them both dying like unfulfilled. Yeah. But we need to pick a winner between the two. L is definitely the winner compared to Light. Like you said, Light won the battle between L and Light. But with the help of Nier and Mello and all them, L was able to win the war and bring Kira to justice.
Yeah. Should have just been L that brought him to justice, but Nier had to like freaking read the script. Nier cheated too.
I like the twist that like L didn't die at the very end.
Yeah.
Like he died like
Yeah. I'm just saying, like Nier just cheated and read the script though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why did he?
I wish like Mello brought down Light. That would have been more interesting.
Especially too, like with the shit that like Mel was doing, like working with the mafia.
Was awesome. He was like using the mafia and stuff. That was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like all of a sudden too, like like Mel just and then he disappeared for like what, like 4 episodes, like
he disappeared for more than that. He disappeared for a while, and he was just hanging out with Matt. He's just like, "Hey, Matt, how you doing?" We'll come back to the show eventually.
And then he's hanging out with that like business guy too in Hawaii too and stuff.
Exactly. It's like, okay, cool. I guess we'll come back to die.
Yeah. And then like the business guy's like, yeah, have fun dying, guys. I'm just gonna chill here, like.
Yeah, exactly. I got out of all that Kira business.
Yeah. Maybe that should be an epilogue with just that one guy, business guy now too. Just like
still in Hawaii. He's like, man, I should go back soon. I've already been here for like 5 years.
And then he comes back and like and then they're like. And then, they just kill him anyways, like, for no reason. Just,
Exactly. That'd be pretty great. We're getting a little off track, but that's a running joke on the, with Death Note, the business guy.
Yeah. Well, us anyways, not anybody else.
Him and Matt. Rip Matt, best character.
Who we thought was Nate in that one review.
I thought his name was Nate. It's Matt.
Yeah. But anyhow, let's end the video. This is our last solo Death Note review. And then we gotta do You know, we think about it too. We only have like there's one more video, and then Breaking Bad and Death Note. We close the chapter on forever,
Yeah, pretty much. At least for now. We'll be doing like side things with those shows, but for like the main series, we'll be done.
You get is it sad for you, and you're just
It's
gonna
all
do it?
sad. Yeah, like these were such big things on this channel. Those were our main projects for a long time.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. Though, you have anything? I shouldn't even ask. I know what you have to plug or promote. So
Yeah. Check out my channel, AJ Talent. I'll upload probably eventually. I don't know.
I feel like at this point, like I should just like restrict you from like plugging it until you actually upload something.
I know,
Like,
right? I have my cap and gown. I have internet. I can finally show that off.
yeah, and you'll just be doing it off like just a simple webcam too. You won't be like it won't be like
Yeah, you
freezing
won't
on
be
you.
like good webcam like you. You actually got a good webcam. I'm using my like shitty laptop.
Yeah, because you're like look at you, you're fading out and like everything like now.
I know.
I
It's
barely
great.
see
I
you.
love this. Woohoo!
You need to get a good webcam or something like.
I do. I do.
At least the webcam. Like if you like, you don't need the mic. You just need at least a good webcam. Like,
Yeah.
But anyhow, check out Western Fortune 44 for all the wrestling videos. On the Talkinator for all our Breaking Bad stuff and such. And then this channel for this video you're seeing right now, and then other Death Note videos.
Yeah, we'll
and
be
stuff.
uploading the Breaking Bad versus Death Note video.
Yeah, here
fairly
and
soon.
on
Well, not versus, but like comparing them.
Yeah, and contrasting. That's gonna be tough. Like the difference. Obviously, there's like one big difference we can obviously say, but we'll talk about it right when we get off here.
But just
that's
to
pretty much
reiterate, yeah, we think L and Light both lost, but like if we had to pick a winner, L was the winner.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. We will talk to you guys later.